What's going on YouTube? Cloverbills here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be updating our competitive tier list for Series 1 VGC. So basically, this is previously where we left off at the beginning of December, where we made this tier list just before pretty much Series 1 started. And now what we're going to do is, because it's another new month, and we're getting closer to the first San Diego regionals, at least for here in North America. Now I believe is a good time to update this tier list. We've had the format develop a little bit. We've had a lot of tournament results. We've seen some things progress. We've seen things rise. We've seen some things drop in usage. So now I think is a good time to address where we are in terms of the meta, right? So before I even start, just in case we have some new viewers and you don't know how I decided to structure the tier list, basically the S tier is basically what I deem the best of the best. These are like your number one options. These are like currently the trend in the meta. This is like what you're structuring your team building around, or at least respecting, okay? And then in terms of like the A tier, this is pretty much what I call strong and consistent. These are options that are like relatively good, very, very strong to use. Your main hitters, the meat and potatoes of your team building, I would say, right? And then as we go down to the B tier, these are Pokemon that are not as good as the A tier, but again, these are still what I call solid and viable options. Very, very consistent still, just not as good as the A tier. Maybe like either it's one of the key stats is holding it back, or maybe an ability that's holding it back. But yeah, that's why it would be in the B tier versus like the A tier. C is what we call the niche tier. Like, it's still pretty good. But again, not as consistent as the A and B tier options. These Pokemon are like good on maybe like one type of team only, and that's why we call them niche. All right, and then over here, of course, this is the non-legal category where we had the Paradox Mons, and then over here, so like basically we don't count this tier. And then the D tier, this is what we originally had as not great, as in like don't try and really use these are not too good. We have a lot to work with here, so there's gonna be a lot of changes here in the D tier, I would say, based on like some recent results and how the way things have gone. And then over here, these are just like pre-evolution stuff. We don't even need to go down there. We don't even count those. But that's pretty much it. So we go from S to A to B to C. We don't care about not legal, and then we go down to the D tier. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to talk about some things that should either rise or drop in the meta. Based on rise or drop on the tier list based on what we've seen in the meta. All right, so let's just go ahead and get on straight to it. All right, so let's look at the S tier. So originally we had like Garchomp, Murkrow, Amoonguss, and Goldengo, and I think this pretty much stays the same. This is pretty much right on the money. If you look at all the key tournament results, you see Hydreigon everywhere, you see Goldengo everywhere, and even Garchomp, right? So like these are like the two big dragons of the format. Hydreigon puts on a lot of pressure with special attack damage, has dark typing for all the ghosts that are running around, and has like very different Terra types that you can run. You can run Terra type Poison, Terra type Fire, Terra type Steel, lots of different options, different move sets. You could do like the Scope Lens Focus Energy set, which can like one-shot Dondozo stuff. That's also really, really cool. You could run Tailwind on it, which I've seen recently, as opposed to like the beginning of the format. That's also really cool. You could do like an Assault Vest set. You could do a Life Orb set. You could even do like, again, the Choice Spec set. I've seen that even. So lots of different ways you can play Hydreigon, and lots of different ways you can build it. Very, very flexible. That's why it stays in the S tier. Garchomp, very, very big physical dragon hitter. Of course, Earthquake does a lot of damage. Big spread hitter. Base speed 102, which is important. Your outspeed base 100s naturally. And again, just being able to have pressure against the Hydreigon itself. And Hydreigon also pressures the Garchomp too, because Dragon is weak against Dragon. So for that reason, again, you could even run like an Adamant set that's like bulkier and slower. I've seen that a couple times. Rough Skin is really good against chipping damage, against the opponent breaking sash. So that's also really nice. You could do a Life Orb set. You could do a Clear Amulet set. You could do even Lumberry with Swords Dance. Then different kinds of sets you can run with Garchomp, but it's a really, really good physical hitter. Amoonguss, of course, your prime redirector. There's no Brute Bonnet, of course, so this is like your mainstay in Trick Room. You can spore things, you can Rage Powder stuff. Clear Smog, very, very good against Donzozo. So for that reason alone, you belong in the S tier because you're a check to like one of the other big meta Pokemon. And of course, Goldango. With the Murko stuff, I put Murko in the high A tier. I think I may change that and put Murko in the S tier as well. This is again something where like you see these three together. You can go for choice specs, make it rain. Even though you get a special attack drop, you can just haze the debuffs away, and then you can just keep spamming it basically, right? So Goldango can run like the Life Orb sets. You can run the bulky Citrus Berry sets, choice spec sets again with the Murko. Lots of different builds you can do with Murko. The Goldango, and for that reason again, with broken spread damage, it's really really good. Good single target damage. Can hit Annihilate really hard, of course. So for that reason, also you go in the S tier. Murko, Tailwind Bond, Prankster, very very strong. Quash speed control, Icy Wind speed control. Foul Play, very very good against like things that want to go for Sword Stand stuff. You have Haze to remove debuffs away from Dondozo. Lots of different tools. Again, we bumped that up into the S tier, so it's really really good. Looking at the rest of the A tiers, like I called the Volcarona to enter the A tier, and I'm glad I did because at the time it wasn't really used, but then it started to be used more, so I'm glad I was correct in that regard. You have Rage Powder, you have Tailwind if you want to go for those sets, but mainly it's been used like for Quiver Dance, Overheat, Struggle Bug stuff, Bug Buzz. It's a good counter to Goldango, right? Because you have strong fire typing. I think it's really nice, and again with high special attack damage. Good special defense, good speed. You're able to tank those special attack hits very, very well, and at the same time put pressure right back. Okay, and then again, like I said, you can also do like Will-O-Wisp stuff. You can neuter them, so it stays in the A tier. Grimmsnarl, of course, screen sets really, really good. Stays consistent. What I want to do for like some of this other stuff, so I think I have to put the Dondozo Tatsugiri in the S tier. Like originally, of course, it's an A tier run originally, like I put it, but then like with all the tournament results and even with all the counters running around, Dondozo's still like topping and winning tournaments, which means it's just such a good pair, especially when it's piloted by a very very strong player. It's like Colossal, right? It takes a lot of skill to like really really pilot it correctly because there's a lot of counters being running around, and there's a lot of things going into team building where like I have this Dondozo check, I have this Dondozo check. Makes it difficult to even try and run Dondozo, but in the hands of the right player, it does very very well. It's very impressive. You have those Omni boosts. Terra Steel is really good against the Clear Smog stuff. Really really good against like the Meowscarada as a check. So for that reason, in the hands of a good player, and the fact that the tournament results are still really really strong, Dondozo will be bumped up to the S tier. All right. From here, Corviknight, I believed in it. I still believe in it. I think it's still like a very high B tier, but I'm trying to like give it a chance here, and I still think it's in the A tier. Good results. Tailwind, Iron Head, bulk up sets, very very nice. Brave Bird, Terra Flying, also very very good. Stays there. Meowscarada, again a nice good check to Dondozo. You can almost even put this in the S tier, I believe. If not, it's like a really really high A tier. Like you could actually, I'll put it in the S tier. Like I'll put it in the low S tier. The reason being, again, Flower Trick always crits is basically Urshifu Light. You can run a choice span set where you go like 4 attacks with coverage moves like Knock Off or Play Rough. Okay, we know what Sucker Punch does. Then you can do like Focus Sash set with Trick Room. Okay, which is really good because then you get speed control that way. So I think that's really really nice. You ignore Mungus, of course, because of the Rage Powder stuff. So for that reason, I think it's really, really strong. It has good tournament results everywhere. I think I have to bump it up into the S tier now, which is exactly what I'm doing. All right. And then the Annihilate, of course, is really, really good. Still very consistent. You either have the Final Gambit set or the Rage Powder, the Rage Fist bulk up set, also really strong. Now we look at the B tier over here. Honestly, I think I'm gonna put Oranguru down to the B tier. Like, I believed in it in the A tier, but it just doesn't have that big Trick Room sweeper that can really like help out a little bit. Like even with Calyrex, Glacial Lance stuff, like it was pretty good, but even then it wasn't like broken. And then all you really have is Torkoal. So like besides just Torkoal, it doesn't really fit on a lot of different teams. So I'm gonna bump it down to B tier. Still very good, still has like good support moves, but I don't think it's like A tier category anymore. So I'm gonna bump it down to the B tier. Same thing with Bronzong. I think Bronzong is always going to be like a good Pokemon, but like because Trick Room is not like or like the hard trick room stuff is not super strong at the moment. Has good results still, but like not like amazing results. Same reason I'm bumping it down to the B tier. I just don't think the format is just fitting it at the moment. I think we need like more dominant trick room sweepers to be able to fully utilize hard trick room. But until then, I'm bumping all this stuff into the B tier. All right. Tyranitar, I'm gonna put up into the A tier, and another one that I'm gonna put up in the A tier is his friend, which I had in the D tier. All right. Where is him? He is Lycanroc. I had him here somewhere. So originally, I did not believe in the Lycanroc in the format, and I don't think any of you did either. Where did I put him? Holy cow! I'm trying to find him. Am I blind? Where are you, Lycanroc? Did I miss him? Did I put him in the C tier? I think I put him in the C tier. Yep, I put him in the C tier. All right, let's put him up here, right here in the A tier. So this is really strong now. You have the Focus Sash Endeavor stuff with Close Combat Rock Slide. You know, you can Endeavor things when you're 1 HP, and then they get chipped down by sand really strong. You can pressure mouse holds with the Close Combat stuff. So for that reason alone, along with Tyranitar, we're pumping it up to the A tier. I think they're very strong and very consistent. Skeledirge, again, we're also bumping up into the A tier. Very good fire type Pokemon, very bulky. Unaware is really good against Dondozo because you can just pretty much ignore those boosts. Pressures also some of the steel types like a King Gambit, for example, but you do have to be aware, like, you know, the King Gambit is a dark type, same with Goldango, Ghost versus Ghost. You can pressure those, but they can pressure you right back, so just be aware. And especially like the Meowscarada stuff, same reason. But still, other than that, if you're a good Dondozo check, you definitely will go into the A tier for that reason. Dragapult, I still think stays in the B tier. I think it's pretty good. It has like good results. I'm gonna put it in like the very high B tier. I think it can climb into the A by the end, but like right now I'm putting it in the B tier. Gengar also pretty. You know what? I'm putting Gengar here because Gengar is like really strong in like those mirror Tailwind matches where either you can go for Icy Wind while you're going for your own Tailwind. You can go for Trick Room and flip the Tailwind upside their head. You have poison damage to pressure the fairy types, and you even get access to Trick Room yourself, right? I think we just said that. So really good there. It's very fast, very hard special attacker. So for that reason, again, we're bumping it up to the A tier. Does really well. I'm thinking about Gyarados and Arcanine. Like, I don't think they're C tier. I think they're still like pretty good on like some teams. The only thing is like they just fallen off so much, but they're still like kind of good. Like, I've seen like Choice Band Arcanine sets that have done pretty well in some recent tours, so I guess it's still okay. Same with Gyarados. Like, I don't think they're like down here. I think they're like the bottom of the B tier, in all honesty, right? So I'll keep them there. Where else do I want to put? King Gambit, I think stays in like either high B or low A. I think I'm just gonna keep it there. Azumarill, I definitely want to put up here in the A tier. You know, just being able to pressure the dragon types with your fairy coverage is really good. Huge power is really nice. You do get access to Perish Song, which can be useful on like the Gothitelle teams, where you're able to trap them. And again, you always have Water Stab coverage, which is really good into stuff like Tyranitar, Lycanroc, good against the fire types running around, against the rock types. Besides Tyranitar, like, you even do good against Garganacl. So I think we can bump up Azumarill to the A tier. And I think everything else stays B here. Yeah, for the most part, yeah, I think this is still accurate. Mousehold, I kind of want to like put in the A tier. I think I will. Its best buddy is like the Annihilate. Population Bomb, just like a straight nuke with like wide lands, is just really good. And then you can, you know, you have access to Friend Guard, you have access to Follow Me, you can set up the Annihilate, you can set up other things, right? Like Indeedee Armarouge stuff. So I think by that logic alone, you know, you can go into the A tier. It's really strong. Speaking of Armarouge, I want to say like still high B. Like, it's pretty good in like the Trick Room stuff. A little bit Tailwind, not that much. I think it stays in the high B tier. I think it's really good. I don't know if I'm ready to put it in the A tier just yet. I think I almost will. Maybe at the end I will, but I'm not sure yet. Okay. Let's look at the C tier. So, Back Scalper, definitely I think is now belonging in the A tier. Like, it went from like nothing, like no use at all, to like all of a sudden it's like topping and winning tournaments left and right. Like this is the hot new dragon right now. You can almost put this in the S tier. I'm gonna like put that like very high A tier. It's really good. Ice Shard just knocks out Garchomp, knocks out Hydreigon. Amoonguss doesn't want to take that. Miracle doesn't want to take that. Meowscarada even doesn't want to take that. It hits a lot of the S tier stuff, and even like some of the B and the A tier stuff. Like with that dragon coverage, Ice is a very good offensive typing. It's just the defensive typing is not great. Thermal Exchange also, you can swap it into a fire type. You can't get burned. Very, very good HP stat. Very, very strong attack stat. Middling speed, but that's okay. You have either Trick Room or Tailwind to help that out. But it just like very, very good coverage with Glade Rush, Swords Dance, Ice Shard. Like that set alone is very good into a lot of the meta. So I definitely want to put this up in the A tier now, for sure. Abomasnow Satine, they stay in the C tier. They did have like a couple results with like maybe 2 tournaments or so, but that's about it. You know, Satine, although it does do well in the snow, it gets like a defense boost, of course, but the attack stat is still not so impressive, and you kind of need the Assault Vest anyway. Otherwise, the Goldango stuff just hits way too hard. So I still keep it in the high C. I can maybe beat it, put it in like low B. Actually, I think I'll put both of these in the low B. I think even Abomasnow without Titan still gets access to like not only the snow but the Aurora Veil, which is actually really useful. So I think they belong definitely in the low B tier. They have enough good results and good play that you can say they're better than like niche stuff. All right. Salazzle is another one that I'm putting up either almost in the A tier, but I'm gonna put it in the high B tier for now. It's creeping up, it's rising in usage. You know, just like we talked about this in the most recent video, the access to the support moves it gets with like Endeavor, Fake Out, Helping Hand, Encore, and then the Acid Spray tech to, you know, make your special attackers do extra damage. You can pressure the fairy types. You have Overheat to pressure the, you know, the steel types. It's a fast Pokemon. It's a very, very good special attacker. You know, it just wasn't used early on, but now people are starting to explore and they're realizing that, yeah, this is actually pretty decent. So I'm gonna say it's in the B category. So definitely not in the C. Definitely should be moved up into the B. Where else? I think these are still C's. All right, so Quavel, it did have like a couple results, especially that one tournament that it did win from Jack's team. I am a believer in it. I don't think it's as good as the other two. Definitely not. I think Meowscarada is definitely S tier, and I think the Skeledirge is definitely the A tier. Is this C tier? I mean, can I see any scenarios where I would prefer this over something like Azumarill? Or even like Palafin? Maybe. It depends, right? I still think it's very niche. I'm gonna put it in the high C tier, maybe even like low B tier at the end. But I think it's still better than where it was in December, right? So I think we're gonna bump that up. Palmont, I still think it's like, again, how do I want to put this thing? Like, it has some results. We get the Revival Blessing stuff. You know, you do have like Fake Out. You do have the ability to like, you know, help your Dondozo teams a lot. That's where it saw the most success with like Soak Tatsugiri, and then you're paired with that and you just deal super effective damage to a lot of things. But other than the Dondozo teams, it hasn't really had that much success. You know, just like varying results. So to me, that's still like niche. To me, you're good on a Dondozo team, but that's about it. I haven't seen other success elsewhere. The Terra Water Goodra stuff on the Rain teams, again, that's very niche. I feel like Goodra is only okay on that kind of team, but even then, just doesn't really do that much damage. Haxorus, Mold Breaker's pretty good. You can hit like Rotoms, you know, with Levitate. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool, but other than that, doesn't really do much. Garchomp is pretty much just a better option. Salamence, we're gonna do a video on this one a little bit later, but again, I still think it's in the C tier. I think it's only good on maybe like 1 or 2 types of team comps. I like it in like a rain kind of team with like Hurricane and Hydro Pump stuff, and that's pretty much the only time where I would prefer Salamence over maybe something like Hydreigon, right? Because I've seen some people try like Scope Lens Focus Energy stuff, but like you can just do that with Hydreigon, and it has a higher special attack stat anyway than Salamence. So I feel like it's just not as good as it. So, but on a rain team, however, I think it's really good. So I want to put that there for the C tier. All right. Orthworm again, you know, kind of cool next to Garchomp teams with Rotom, but that's about it. Farigiraf, okay. Farigiraf, just like the other Trick Room stuff, I'm going to put this up here. I think it's very good. It's got a pretty good special attack stat. I think it's like 110. It can set Trick Room, but not only that, it has like a bunch of other useful tools. The tail skill is actually really nice. So I think it's solid and viable. I don't think it's down in the C tier. I think it's still pretty good. And the success that the Trick Room teams have had, it always had a Farigiraf on it, right? So for that reason, I think you need it as of this moment if you want to try like the Trick Room stuff. If you're not doing like Initi Armarouge stuff, and even then they still have the Farigiraf. So we're gonna put this in the B tier as well. Where else? I think everything else stays in the C tier over here. Actually, Mimikyu is also starting to rise, just like the Salazzle. It's specifically like the Life Orb Mimikyu set. I'm just gonna put it randomly here. I don't know where I should put it, but the Life Orb Mimikyu set is really good. It pressures the Goldango stuff. It pressures the Bulk Annihilate stuff. You can pressure all the big dragons with the Life Orb Play Rough. Disguise gives you a get out of jail free button because you're able to take one attack. You also get access to the Trick Room stuff, the Will-O-Wisp stuff. So it's just like Mimikyu wasn't being used that much early on. Now it's being used with like Mimikyu, Amoonguss, Salazzle, Excalibur. That's like the big 4 core along with like the Water Tauros every now and then. But that's a good kind of team to use it. But I think Mimikyu is another good fairy option to consider besides like Grimmsnarl, Azumarill, and even Sylveon. I think Mimikyu is another fairy that belongs in that category. The same with like Gardevoir stuff. All right, anything else that I want to move up here from the C tier? I think that's pretty much it for the most part. Okay, let's look at the D tier. All right, Beartic. Again, we're putting this. Do I want to put this in the? It's almost here. I still think it's pretty good. In the rain tier stuff, I think with Pelipper, actually, the Pelipper teams are doing well. You know what? I'm putting the Pelipper in the A tier, and I'm gonna keep the Beartic in the B tier. I think it's a pretty good sweeper with the Pelipper. The only thing that has just a little bit more success than the Beartic, yes, the Palafin also has pretty good success with the Pelipper, is this Pokemon. It's the Dreadnought, and I'm gonna look for it. I think I had it in the not great, so forgive me. But every time I see a Pelipper rain team do really well, more times than not, it always has like a Dreadnought. It makes a lot of sense, right? The Dreadnought is, just has a very, very good attack, good move pool. I don't know where it is at the moment. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let me pause the video one moment. Okay, I found it. It's over here. So yeah, the Dreadnought. I think it's also like within over here in the high B tier as far as the not great. And I'll do some of you guys a favor. I know people have been harking on me on this with the Float Cell. All right, yes, it does get access to Wave Crash this generation, and it has a pretty good attack stat, and the speed is just overkill in my opinion. But like, it hasn't had those same results that these guys have had, right? The Palafin, the Dreadnoughts, and the Beartic. But I feel like if people gave it a chance, I think it might do okay. But like, I just think these two, or even these three, just do so much more than besides this thing that just gets Wave Crash, right? I think they have a wider move pool. And then, yes, they're not as fast, I understand that, but I think they just have more to offer to a squad in general, just for their coverage that Float Cell can't just quite bring, right? But I'll give it for the benefit of the doubt. Actually, I'm just going to put it in like high C tier. I think that's where it belongs right now. Until I can see this thing get some results in the big tours, I'm going to keep it in the C tier. I'll at least respect that it can do something because of Wave Crash, right? Where else do I want to go in the D tier? Serena, so again, with Queenly Majesty, this thing does have some results. I think it just won a recent tournament, actually. The thing with Serena, even though there's no like Incineroar and Rillaboom, there's still stuff like Ice Shard, Aqua Jet that's running around, so you can deny that stuff and then even like the Talonflame stuff even. So Serena does have some use because of those things. and even the extreme speed stuff, I think you can deny. So from the Dragonite stuff, so it does have some use. So at the very least, I can bump it into the C tier for that reason. All right, Tinkaton. Okay, so believe it or not, it has a couple results, and I understand why. Just because like the stats aren't good. I know it gets Gigaton Hammer, but it does have some access to good support moves. Like it gets Fake Out. It has a couple other support moves that are actually kind of nice. It's just the attack stat is just not so great, but it does have some use. I believe it has a niche on certain teams if you need it. It's still got the best typing with Fairy Steel, just like Zacian stuff. So at the very least, I can bump it in the C tier. I'm not going to put it in the A and the B tier like these guys. I just don't think it can do the job just yet. But at the very least, I can respect it and say that it has a niche in the meta. All right. Vaporeon, same reason. Just like, again, you have access to Haze and Water Absorb, which is actually okay against the Dondozo stuff, and it has some results for that. More than one result. So, but again, these are just better Dondozo checks, the ones that we have in the A and the B tier. Vaporeon's very niche, all right? But again, because of that, I will put it in the niche tier as opposed to the not great tier. Back in the D tier, what else can I move up here that deserves something? This gets access to close combat now, so that could be good. I don't know if people have been trying to use that yet. This is okay. This is very niche again. The slacking stuff with the doodle guy. I can't remember his name. Grafii? Yeah, so at the very least, I can put slacking there in the niche tier for that reason. Where else? Yeah, these are just not great mons. Okay, where else? Alright, the Rapska, again, just like the Palm mod, Revival Blessing stuff. So I guess you can put that in the niche tier, but, again, even then. This one also, okay, this one might do something because of the bulk that it gets from the snow stuff, the Glaceon. Okay, but even then, I still think like Obama Snow Titan is just a little bit better if you want to play that route. Espathra, so again, this I know like the utility that it can do, like the cool support moves that it gets, the speed boost, but again, I still think that's very niche, so I'm putting that in the C tier as opposed to the not great tier. Is there anything else that I want to bump up? Oh yeah, so he goes with the slacking, right? Where are you? Yeah, something like this. Where's the Frost? There you go, Frostmoth. All right, so so the Frostmoth has a tournament result. Actually has a couple tournament results. Again, the ice coverage is really good. The Terra Electric makes it resist the steel typing, and it makes it resist the flying weakness. So for that reason, again, you're also able to go for Blizzard. You do very well behind the snow stuff, but other than that, very, very niche, very specific to one kind of team. It's not even like the snow team where you can use it. It's like that other kind of that I can't remember off the top of my head. But again, ice typing, good offense, not great defense, but has the results to at least say we can put it in the niche tier. So yeah, we'll bump it up there. Anything else that we want to put up? Leafeon, not really. This stuff, I know this has the triple attack stuff, but I don't think that's consistent. This one has Iron Defense Body Press, so that's not too bad. Anything else? Alright, this thing, again, just has like the unaware stuff, so, yes, but there's better options for Dondozo than Cloudsire, so we'll still put it in the C tier. But again, very low C tier. And I think that's about it, honestly. Is there anything else I missed that I want to move up, or hey, how about anything here to move down? In terms of like B tier. No, I think this is pretty much it as far as like where we are. So here's our S tier. So let's recap it. All right, so let's go ahead and start from there. All right, so our S tier, just as in summary, so we got the Garchomp, Hydreigon, Goldengo, Murko stuff. We have Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Amoonguss, and we have the Meowscarada, Grimmsnarl stuff. You know what? Of course, this. I'm pretty biased. I am pretty biased. I want to say that. I think this is in the S tier, man. I think it's rising again in usage, even more so than the beginning of the format. Screens, balanced teams always find a way to do well in tournament results, and Grimmsnarl is a big reason for that. So I'm putting that in the S tier. I feel like this is a pretty good A tier. I want to put some of these guys in the A tier, but I think this is a pretty accurate result. I think King Gambit also can go into the A tier. It's a very bulky mon, has great value in those balanced teams, has the results to back it up. But like, yeah, Talonflame, Dragapult, you know, Palafin, Scizor, these are all like good solid B tier Pokemon. In the C tier, I still think this is okay. Like Jumpluff again is very niche. Anything else that could go up? I think this is pretty much it. So back to the A tier. So Baxcalibur, Volcarona, Sylveon, Garganical, you know, Corviknight, again still believing in this thing. We moved up Maushold, Annihilate stuff, Tyranitar, Lycanroc, that developed across the meta, so that's really nice. Skeledirge again moves up into the A. Gengar, Azumarill, Pelipper, and then the King Gambit, they move up into the A. Still solid and viable. And now we added the Water Cores with Beartic and Dreadnought. You can almost put these in the A tier. I think, you know, Rain teams have done very well, but I don't know if I can put them as good as like this other stuff. Not just yet, but definitely like the high B tier stuff. We added Salazzle. All right, we've dropped Bronzong and Oranguru down to the B tier, and then the Scizor, Palafin stuff, they're really good in the Rain stuff, so that's really good. Torkoal has some results, just not as good as the Rain Sand stuff. So Sun still is very viable, but you know, still a B tier stuff. Rotom Wash, good with the Garchomp. You know, both of these Rotoms have been seen in good play. You know, this has like the Trick, Choice Spec stuff, so that's also really nice. Other than that, it's like Citrus Berry, Nasty Plot, or Citrus Berry, Will-O-Wisp sets. Gothitelle also has good results with Trick Room, able to trap things in, also has access to competitive. Ceruledge, also another good strong fire type Pokemon. I think it does the job relatively well. Dragonite still okay, even though it doesn't have its partner Qianpao. Alright, and that's pretty much it. And here's our C tier. You can get a good look at those. We explained some of them, and then the others are just like, you know, there. And if you want more explanations on some of these guys, you can ask me in the comments or check our previous, tier list video. And again, these are not legal. And again, this is just all the stuff that we put in the not great category, or it just doesn't have any results to really back up any kind of claim. But that's pretty much it. So let me know what you think of our current tier list right now. If there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments. But yeah, again, if you're also interested in coaching with me, that's in the video description. We have the tier 3 sub to the channel where you and we can sit down on a Discord call. We can build a team from scratch. I can show you how to do all the EVs like I do in the team building videos. And then we can get you out a consistent squad. We've had a lot of people register so far, I think like 30 plus, and they've all had success and they've all enjoyed their squad. So definitely want to consider joining as well. San Diego's coming, so if you plan on competing there, definitely want to book your session with me to see if we can get you with that solid, consistent tournament regional team. Or if you have a team yourself already made and you just want me to fix it up a little bit, that's a tier 2 sub to the channel. So again, we sit down on a Discord call and I fix your EVs for you, and then I give the team back to you. All right, so that's a tier 2 sub to the channel. And again, all of that is in the video description and in the comment section. All right, we'll be back in another video, guys, in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.